committed to bringing down this city's violent crime rate.
I'm working another angle to get rid of Egan.
It looks like he's walking all over you.
We need a leader.
Claudia.
I finally figured out a way for us to bury the hatchet. Come along.
So we are now officially coming to the halfway point of the final season of Force, episode 5. It has been teased to be a big episode. I brought up the quote from Gary Lennon a few times over the past few weeks because you could definitely tell they were building the foundation and laying the various different triangles and triangles within triangles, the various different alliances that we have at this moment in time, and I am sure after episode 5, the entire chessboard will look very different. No doubt they're going to be flipping it upside down. Now last week we didn't have any exclusive images. It seems like it was because of Thanksgiving and the holidays, so I do hope all of you guys had a great Thanksgiving, enjoyed some downtime with the fam. I personally haven't had any downtime myself because Power definitely kept me busy with what they released with Power Origins. For those who aren't caught up with the latest for Origin Season 1, they have officially released the first look images for Young Ghost, Tommy and Kanan. There are also a host of new characters announced as well. Excited to see the young K Egan and also Jay Boogs. Those are the two characters I'm really looking forward to seeing when Origins does hit our screens, hopefully in 2026. And those couple of breakdowns for those who haven't seen them will be down below in the description section. But it's time to dig into these exclusive images for Force 305. There's quite a few from Tommy, Jenard and Diamond, Vic, Flynn, and a few more. But first up as usual is the title and synopsis. Now the title of episode 5 is The Last Dance, and the synopsis reads, Jenard and Diamond strengthen their relationship over a common enemy, while Tommy ties up a loose end. Now we've been through the episode title, we went through it earlier in the week, The Last Dance. I mean, does it really need an explanation? It's the end of the road for at least one character as a minimum in episode 5. We made the case for JP, we made the case for a potential twist involving Stacy Marks and AUSA Seng, and we've also made the case for Claudia Flynn. But as I mentioned before, The Last Dance, that doesn't necessarily have to just refer to one person. It may be a theme across the entire episode. Gary Lennon has teased that this episode is set to be brutal, and I actually have no doubt it will. So far, Season 3 definitely has delivered. It's been a very good season so far. Now it's just time to hit a couple of those home runs, and that has to start in episode 5. Now, in terms of the exclusive images, we've got JP who returned in episode 4. He's back again, and I think these two brothers definitely have a lot to talk about. They didn't end on the best of terms at the end of Season 2. That's when Kate was taken to hospital. In that moment, Tommy just kind of froze. But look, we know brothers are going to be brothers. I'm sure a lot of you guys who are listening also have brothers, so you guys definitely know how it is. I've got 3 myself. You're going to fight, you're going to fall out, disagree on things, but you'll always end up coming back together, just like we see Tommy and JP, and just like we're going to see Jenard and Diamond strengthening their bond. JP does also have some sort of letter in his hand that Tommy's looking at, not sure what that's all about, but I expect JP to be in episode 5 again, with Tommy and JP beginning to rebuild their relationship. By the way, there's also still no sign of Kate. We know she will be back in Chicago at some point based on the official trailer, but at this moment in time, she's now in New York. So let's see when she actually ends up getting that call to come back to Chicago because of a certain someone's death. Now we've also got Tommy and Maria, which we didn't see much of in episode 4. That was because Tommy was busy doing his thing in the streets. But we did see Miguel coming over to invite both Tommy and Maria to Sunday dinner. That's where we are with that particular triangle heading into episode 5. Whether we see that Sunday dinner in episode 5, I'm personally not too sure. Does seem kind of too soon. Those are normally explosive moments in the world of Power. I'm sure that's something they'd want to kind of build up and hype just before it happens. I'm sure that's going to be a very feisty dinner because we all know what Miguel's plans are. He made that clear with Roberto Ortega. But we still need to see Maria telling Tommy about the dinner. We need to see his reaction. We know he's going to have his guard up. I'm sure he'll also question Miguel's intentions, and rightfully so. He'll know it's not coming from the goodness of Miguel's heart, that's for sure. But again, with him being Maria's brother, it is very difficult. Let's see which way they go with this one. I personally don't think we're going to see the dinner in episode 5, but hopefully we do get Tommy's reaction to it at least, then building up to it, because we know those dinner scenes can be very explosive in the world of Power, which is kind of becoming a trademark for every season of Power. You take it back to Diana in Book 2 Ghost, they had another one in Season 4 of Ghost, they had one in Raising Kanan, we've not seen one so far in Power Book 4 Force, but at some point soon, we definitely will. Now rounding off on the last one with Tommy's character, we've got him looking at someone, and this is the original image that was released way back when they gave our first look images. At the time, I did think hallucination scene. Could Tommy be seeing Kanan? You've got that kind of blue tint in these pictures and during the scene, and the first thing I actually thought was hallucination. But this image right here, This now makes me lean towards it not being a hallucination. We've got Tommy pointing his gun towards someone in his apartment, and honestly, it could be anyone. Literally every character in Force knows where Tommy lives. He does have a lot of security and CCTV. We saw that in season 2, and they even made a point of showing it again in episode 4 when Miguel came over, which by the way was actually crazy in itself. Miguel just strolling into his apartment and Maria letting him in when Tommy's not there. So definitely add that to the reaction I want from Tommy. I wanted reaction to Miguel inviting him to Sunday dinner and also him being in his apartment. But we've also got him pointing a gun towards someone, then raising his glass and looking up, which could be for Liliana, could be for Kanan, it could be for Ghost. Those are the 3 characters Tommy would be raising a glass for. There was the Kanan and Ghost reference back in episode 4, which really was a nice touch, but we do know he is going to have this back and forth with Claudia in episode 5 as well. And she is one of the 3 I mentioned earlier on in the week during my trailer breakdown who are on my short-term death predictions. Tommy made her a promise back in season 2, and he definitely will be sticking to it. Whether that be in episode 5, 7, 9, 10, 6, it definitely is just a matter of when, not if. So I am personally looking forward to seeing Tommy versus Claudia in episode 5, this back and forth. We know Tommy's not stupid, he's a character who always does his due diligence. Claudia's no pushover either, she is smart. But the one thing to always remember, she will never be as smart as Tommy. And that's something Stacey Marks actually said earlier on in this season. Tommy's a character who's always been 3 steps ahead. But definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with Tommy and Claudia. Earlier on in the week, I did raise the possibility of Tommy potentially using her to also target the Marquez cartel. That definitely is also an option. Use her until she's done. But let's wait and see. Now moving over to Jenard and Diamond strengthening their bond. We've got Jenard and Diamond at this warehouse, and it is a scene that we did see in the official trailer and a couple of other teasers prior to season 3. Jenard and Diamond look like they've rolled upon a rival crew. We've also got Marshall in the background. Again, he's also another character we've spoken about before as well. The Last Dance, D-Mac needing to lose people that are close to him for him to grow and have this character development, for him to feel pain and his actions having consequences. But I don't think it's going to be here with Marshall. From previous teasers and trailers, it does look like whoever these guys are, they are going to be wiped off the map. It's also the scene where we do see the biker come in and unleash hella gunfire, which may even actually be D-Mac, although Tommy did mention he only answers to him, his uncle Tommy. So if this is D-Mac, then I'm sure that's something that may even cause more tension between Tommy and Diamond. But I think the fact that we're going to see Jenard and Diamond strengthening their bond, that's going to be bad news for Tommy anyway. The theme for majority of season 3 has been blood being thicker than water, which isn't always the case, but definitely seems to be when it comes to Jenard and Diamond, at least with what we're watching in season 3. So let's see what's happened here, what's caused this, and also what are the repercussions? Because I also don't see Tommy here. Is it even a plan that Tommy's aware of? Or is it Jenard's plan? Is it Jenard and Diamond making a move of their own? Because if it is, Tommy definitely will be losing his shit. But at the same time, he also knows that Brotherhood can be strong because of his and Ghost's relationship, his and JP's relationship. So we're definitely entering murky waters for Tommy and the CBI, which I do think we all know what they're building up to anyway. He will be the one who loses out in this particular triangle and then ends up becoming a lone wolf. And with stuff like this, they're just setting the foundation for it to happen. But moving over to Ray and Vic Flynn. Now I have been saying for 2 weeks this relationship will start to become a bit more complex. He introduced himself as Jason Booker. Shane Harper, who plays Vic, did also do an interview prior to season 3. He spoke about how he missed this love that he had with Gloria back in season 1. He's always a character that's looking for love. And as soon as he started to use Ray to get to Stacey Marks, you could honestly just tell where they were going with this particular relationship. Not sure whether it is exposed in episode 5, but eventually it definitely will. And when it does, the question then becomes, does Ray stick around or does she leave? Could she even potentially help Vic by giving him something to get out from under Stacey Marks' boot? There are definitely a lot of ways they could play this one, but definitely expecting this relationship to be complicated by Vic actually falling for Ray, which you could definitely see towards the end of episode 4. You could definitely see he was beginning to fall for her. Now we've also got Stacey Marks with her campaign. She's going to be doing another speech in front of a packed room full of the media, press, and also the CPD. We're going to see them turn their back on Stacey Marks as she's delivering her speech, which is basically a big F you. We don't have your back. She doesn't have the CPD on board, which is a big problem for a campaign and run for the mayor's office. For things like this to work, she needs to show a united front. She needs the CPD on board. What also doesn't help Stacey is a big donation from the big scary drug dealer, Tommy Egan. So where I spoke about wanting Tommy's reaction to Miguel coming to his apartment and the Sunday dinner, I also want the reaction from Stacey Marks when she finds out her biggest contributor is Tommy Egan. But it definitely is all set up for Stacey to fail, no doubt. And we haven't even factored in AUSA Seng. He's probably going to continue to destroy the case around Roberto Ortega, and when that happens, when you start to slowly strip away characters of everything that they have, unfortunately, it does then become game over. It might just be too soon to say that for Stacey Marks, but it definitely would be a crazy twist, and something we have seen before with Mike Sandoval back in Power. Now, elsewhere in episode 5's trailer, they did also have Vic Flynn in conversation with a couple of new players. It seems like he will be making a move to strengthen and try to get out from under the thumb of Tommy, which is a very dangerous game to play, but it does seem like he will be putting that into motion in episode 5 as well. But that's a wrap for the preview for all things episode 5 based on the trailer and the exclusive images. As of today, when I'm recording this, there haven't been any exclusive clips released because I am recording this on Tuesday morning, but episode 5 is said to be really delicious, brutal, and fantastic. An episode that will deliver on every cylinder, which I do think is a perfect way to round off this preview. I do also want your death predictions as well just before you guys go. Gary Lennon said it's brutal. This episode is also titled The Last Dance, so definitely drop your death predictions down below in the comment section as well. And as always, I will catch you guys back here for my episode 5 breakdown sometime in the morning or early afternoon. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.